Hola! Welcome to the 24th episode of the Roofless Dog and Pony Show. I am Julio Panicello. I'm the dream alchemist at Roofless Painters, and I'm going to be the host of this presentation. And today we are coming to you a little bit later than usual. Apologies for the little delay, but we're gonna dive in right ahead. The Roofless Dog and Pony Show, for those of you who are watching for the first time, is a weekly live presentation featuring the conceptual and the stylistic inspiration behind our painting webinars. Every week we propose, host, and conduct a painting webinar online remotely. And before we host a painting webinar, we present the inspiration of the theme for the painting webinar. So these little episodes serve as an introduction for the painting webinars. And so you can feel what we do is we talk about the inspiration. We bring up some contemporary art history references, and also we bring some paintings as inspiration. And you can find all the episodes in our Instagram page, and also in our YouTube channel. We just have them all there. We have now 24, counting this one. So we're very excited for this new coming webinar, and I'm going to start sharing the first painting. So last week we talked about, we didn't talk about because we didn't have a painting webinar, but last week during the Thanksgiving period, we got to explore, learn about, and read about contemporary Native American painters. So we were interested in not only Native American art, or rather art created by Native American people, but or indigenous people, but we were looking into contemporary artwork, and we found this painting by Rick Bartow, also known as Mad River Wyatt, born in 1946. He's still alive. The painting, it's titled Raven. So we kind of like set it aside because in indigenous culture, crows and ravens have a different meaning than in other cultures. So there, it's an image, or it's an animal that is being represented very often in paintings and sculptures and fabric. So it represents spirituality and intelligence. So it has a high regard in indigenous culture. So as we were learning about contemporary painters, indigenous contemporary painters, and we were just driving around very empty LA, we noticed that during the sunset time there were a lot of crows. I noticed there were. I don't know if it was because we already saw the paintings, but or because the streets were deserted. There was no activity. But we noticed that there were groups of crows gathering together in front of homes, on the street, in residential streets. And it was a beautiful sight, and we just decided that we put those two elements together, and we decided that we would learn more about these birds, and also find out what kind of like references in art history we would find. The first one that I'm going to bring up, it's fairly known. This is Van Gogh's last painting, or what's considered his last painting, Wheatfield with Crows, 1890. I don't know if you've seen any movies about Van Gogh, but usually they just portray him painting in the wheat field and going a little crazy. So anyhow, so that's the first reference of a painting featuring crows as a subject. But I have a few others. One that is amazingly beautiful and very striking is this painting by a Finnish artist, Akseli Gallen Kallela, painted in 1884 and titled Boy with a Crow. I just thought it would be an interesting piece of art to bring up in regards of how modern and contemporary it looks, and how this was painted in the 19th century. Very interesting color palette, fantastic composition. There's no horizon line, there's no sky, and it's just two figures. There's nothing in the painting that distracts us from what's going on, and it seems like the two figures are doing things on their own. There's no connection or relationship. It even looks like the boy maybe or maybe not may not be looking at the crow, but we thought it would be a very good example of an older painting featuring a crows as a subject. In regards of older, so there is another culture that regards crows very highly. This is a crow eating a persimmon. Crow eating a persimmon, 1910. So it's not as old as the previous one, by a Japanese artist named Ohara Koson. And we brought two images, crow eating a persimmon and crow with on a cherry branch. What can we say? These two examples also extremely beautiful in their aesthetics, the monochromatic elements, and the use of color, composition, and then the subject matter of the crow being featured within that context. Another reason why, as we were discovering these references in art history, why we thought this could be a good moment or a good idea to bring crows as a subject, since I'll talk a little bit more about it, but since they're November and December are months when crows do something specific that I'll mention. This is a painting by a female artist, study of a dead crow. She was Russian, Marie Vorobrev. 1955, the painting, and she was influenced by Cubism. So a lot of the pieces that he did were in the Cubist style. But this is a very interesting one, not only because of the style, but also because of the premise or the subject, a dead crow. Still a very interesting and beautiful painting of the bird. This painting, it's a contemporary, I don't know if you can see this, but it's a contemporary painting by an artist named Robert Coast. Actually, no, he passed away in 2003. 1936-2003, Robert Coast, a self-taught Canadian painter who practiced magical realism, and this was painted in 1981. We just love the integration of the crow within or with a landscape and the way it's organized. So another painting of a crow. This is by a contemporary painter, James Kenny, Crow 1. And I don't have the year of this painting, but yeah, I know that he's a contemporary painter, and we selected this image just because of the way it's painted. It's representational, but the brush strokes, they're very expressive, or gesture with a very interesting gesture. So there's a little bit of a abstraction involved with the painting, and it's a different way of bringing up. I need to plug the phone. Bringing up or representing the subject. Another painting of a crow, and then I'll just this one is also very interesting. Hughie O'Donoghue. I don't know if I pronounce it right. Contemporary painter, 1991. He's British, and he has a series of crows that take it up a notch in regards of bringing more abstraction in the representation of the bird. So there's a series of similar images, and the only thing that changes is the color of the background. So this one has a sun in it. And I think finally, I think that's all I got. Yeah, I think that's all I got in regards of like different representations in painting of crows throughout time, starting in the 19th century until now. And what we're going to do tomorrow, Friday, we're going to set up a photo bank of images of crows. And we're just going to do paintings of crows. And what I wanted to say also, reading facts about crows, they're very intelligent animals. They're one of the smartest birds. And they do something very interesting in regards of socializing. And that's the conceptual reason why we thought this could be very interesting to do. So apparently, because of their intelligence, they're very social. So first thing that we love, associating intelligence with the level of being engaged with a group or a community. So during the early hours or before the sun sets, crows just hang out. They just gather. They just get together for no particular reason, but just to enjoy each other's company. And what they do, they just hang out. They communicate. We also learned that crows not only can communicate with each other, but they have different dialects depending on different areas. And they just love to socialize. And because this was sort of like perfect, because right now, as humans are in the middle of a pandemic and we are not supposed to gather in social groups, we think it would be interesting and fun to actually paint a being that right now they're having the time of their life because there are no humans bothering them. They are actually able to socialize. So this will be a painting related to our experience. It's not just going to be a painting of a bird. It's not going to be just a painting of a bird in December. It's just going to be a painting of a subject from the point of view of being isolated, a subject that can socialize. Other things that we wanted to mention and talk about is that crows have a highly developed language, and also they're able to imitate sounds. So you can find it if you want to go ahead and on YouTube. You can see crows with their owners almost like acting like parrots. The owners have trained crows to make sounds. Hi, goodbye, hello, coughing. There's a video of someone who trained their crow to cough. So crows form groups of friends as teenagers. The average lifespan of a crow, it's about 17 years. Ravens live up to 30 years. Crows like to live in urban spaces or urban areas. Ravens are more inclined to live in nature. But they form groups as teenagers, and they remember each other, and they are complicit, and they play with each other and with the environment as human teenagers would. They are considered the most intelligent birds. So they did this study about the relationship or the ratio between the size of a brain and the size of the being. And crows have one of the highest ratios. So it means that their brains are very big compared to their bodies. So that's one of the explanations why they're so smart. They have a very old origin. They emerged about 17 million years ago in Australia. And currently there are 120 species of crows distributed all over the planet, except in Antarctica. Crows also act strangely with ants. Apparently they have an issue with ants, and they just kill them. They just identify the ant hills. They move around, they grab the ants, they macerate them with their beaks, and then they disperse them throughout their body. So it is believed that this behavior is to act as repellent or natural insecticide. Never heard of that before. Another thing that we love is that when crows couple, they stay with the same partner forever, unless the partner dies or something happens. But they're very loyal and they're very committed. And another thing that we also love about crows is that when one of the crows in one of those social environments dies, apparently they do funerals or the equivalent of funerals. They mourn their dead. So when a crow passes away, a lot of the crows they meet and they start making sounds, and they stay around the deceased for a long time. I don't know. I think that's very interesting. They're able to name humans among themselves, and they're able to either hold grudges or remember things that the humans do. So watch out, you guys, when you see crows around. By the way, in many cultures, crows are a symbol of good luck and also of good news coming. So it's unfortunately, I don't know where this idea of crows being symbol of evil comes from, but there are many cultures in which crows, they are treasured as omens of fortune. So yeah, I was just saying that when you see them around, know that not only they will know us, but if they live around, they will recognize us. They will name us within their own sort of like social group. And if we act like jerks, they will remember us. And I just couldn't love that anymore. And yeah, I think that's all. Thank you so much. Apologies for the little delay. We're going to upload this and send an email to everyone this Friday. Tomorrow, we're going to paint crows. 11 a.m. Pacific time. It's $20. You get 3 full hours of webinar, 2 painting, 1 with critique group. A bonus session on Tuesday in which we introduce a new tutorial, and then we also give extra time for feedback. And yeah, join us. Every level welcome. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. We're happy to get back into the cycle of webinars. We missed last Friday because of the holiday. But we are excited to jump in back again and paint crows with you guys. Thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow. And if you're watching from the future, I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Give us a like, a note, a comment. We would really appreciate it. Bye, guys.